Maybe I should have went and lubed that one up. Maybe I should have went and lubed that one up for the game. Who did the scheduling here? Well, the 3 losses for the Eagles come twice to Male, and one in the LIT. Male beat them at Eastern, and then a good Seneca team beat them by 11 the other night. But John had come in here, both teams tonight, trying, to get back on the winning track. I know the Tigers won Saturday, like you said, at Spencer County. Played a great first half. Second half didn't play quite as well. But it is nice to get back home if you get on your own turf and hopefully get everything back in gear. And playing at home is huge. You get to stay in your home, your own routine. And Tigers haven't seen this place in a while.
Senior night for the swimmers tonight. They'll be honored here at halftime. But getting it back on the winning track after that game at Ballard Friday night. Tigers lost by 43, a running clock. Started late in the third quarter. You don't see that very often. Senex was down a couple starters, but Tony, that is a really, really impressive performance by the Ballard.
Well, I believe it was 2016 into the first quarter, Ballard. And Ballard just comes at you with waves, and they're so talented. They're long. They can shoot it. They got young guys, older guys, you name it, they got it. A Division I football player. Just a really good Ballard team. That's why they're the number 1 team in the state right now in the AP poll. But the Tigers righted the ship on Saturday against Spencer County. Played a great first half. I talked to Coach Klein, and he said second half. I said, Coach, was it you all playing bad, Spencer County playing well, or what? He goes, a little of both, and I said, you hit 3 throws down the stretch, and he said, yeah. So they got the win, and that's all that matters. Ben Varga, 31 points. He was 10 for 15 from the field, 8 for 13 from the three-point line, hit all 3 of his 3 throws and put that big 31 spot up. But they got help from Simon Smith in double figures, Nickel Mosley, John Carroll, and Aiden Mudd had only 5 points, but he had 7 rebounds for the Tigers.
Hope nobody else gets it because Mosley's now back 100%, Bond's back 100%, Calvin Schubert is back as well, and you just hope it doesn't go. It's over and doesn't go through any more players.
Yeah, and I coach grade school basketball. We've had somebody sick almost every practice. I had a practice where I came here today. One of my kids was sick, so it's just that way all around Jefferson County and actually the Ohio Valley. So you hope when you get into the tournament play that it doesn't affect you then, because we always talk about it. The only games that matter are district game and regional, games in the region. So tonight we'll see how the Tigers come in and play at home.
It's an Eastern team that comes in 13-8 under Coach David Henley. But of those 8 losses, Tony, 7 of those have been single-figure losses. And the biggest loss they've had this year was a 11-point loss down at Lexington Christian in the Central Bank Classic to Lloyd Memorial. But 11, that's the biggest loss they've had. So 13 very easily have a much better record.
They could. Like I said, they're a very young team. They play a lot of sophomores, play some freshmen. So Coach Henley's trying to bring these guys along. Looking at their schedule, it hasn't been super tough. They beat a good Henry Clay team early in the year. DeSales has played well. They beat them, but those were early wins. And later on in the season, they Fort Thomas Highlands team, it's not bad, they beat. So we'll see. I think both teams would be a good barometer tonight to see where they are in the 7th region, because if you look at the 7th region standings, John, of course it's Ballard and Male, then Seneca, St. X, and Eastern are basically the 3 teams below them. So, you know, you want to make sure you're the 3rd best team when the tournament comes. You're not going to be better than Male and Ballard. Male gets hired Fleming, their Illinois State signee, back for this weekend to play against Ballard Friday night.
2 of the last 3 losses, Eagles, as I mentioned, lost 3 in a row. 2 of them were to the Male Bulldogs, 55-53 in the LIT, and then 61-55 out at Eastern High School. So a Male team that the Tigers played down to the wire. The Eagles have played them pretty close twice here within a week span.
Yeah, I think that's very impressive when you look at that and see how they played Male. But you know, I think these teams are going to mirror each other a lot. Guys, both teams have pretty good shooters. Eastern shoots the ball pretty well from out on the floor. St. X has shot it well at times. Varga, boy, some nights Varga's been unbelievable like he was the other night. And when you get that, it makes it easy on everybody else.
John Carroll will get the start here again tonight for the Tigers. Guard, and so you'll have basically 3 ball handlers out there. You count Matt Lynch and Varga also. So you'll have 4 to start. I think Kevin Klein kind of likes this lineup. Bonsbach coming off the bench. He likes that and keeps Kyle from getting in early foul trouble. You got an extra ball handler out there in John Carroll. And as long as you get off to the kind of start that they got off to against a Ballard, which is a good start, and especially counting when they led 28-10 after a quarter, I guess that's the lineup you go with as long as it's working, right?
Yeah, I think so. And you also have Aiden Mudd coming off the bench, too. So you have some size coming off the bench if you need to switch it up. So the Tigers have kind of moving parts. They got different guys, but, you know, guys like Mudd and Bonsbach, if they give you good games, it makes it easier on the guys on the perimeter, too.
Top scorer for the Eastern Eagles, James Jewell. He scored 18 in the loss to Seneca the other night, but they got 3 guys in double figures on the season.
Yeah, they do, John. James Jewell is a sophomore. He's 6'6". Had 18 points and 6 rebounds against Seneca the other night. And Christian Spalding, another sophomore who's their 2nd leading scorer at 13. He had 13 and 8 at Seneca the other night. And then the 3rd double-digit scorer is Ben Craig, and he's a junior. They do not have a senior listed on their roster. A lot of sophomores and some freshmen, a few juniors.
Well, as I mentioned, the trouble with being the Eastern Eagles is you're in the same district with the Ballard Bruins, and that's also a young team with a whole lot of talent.
Well, and Male's got some young talent over there, too. So St. X and Eastern, you know, you're trying to get to that level, but it's hard when you have Ballard and Male in your region.
Watch the Tigers warm up. You see Kai Smith out there. Getting back, of course, part of getting back is getting back into basketball games as well. He's about a week and a half away from practice. I'm thinking about the 3rd guy in the lineup that hasn't played all year. When you're getting really close to tournament time, I would guess the sooner Kai Smith can actually go, the better, and the more you know what you're going to get out of him when tournament time comes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other night. How do you bring a guy back that hasn't played when you have a lot of guards? You pick your 60.
PRP, a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, John, I think that's a good analogy right there. That PRP's got some talent, and they beat Ballard at Ballard, and they've had some other losses. So yeah, up and down. Larry Kinley over there now taking Dale Mabry's place. You know, even though you've been assistant coach for a million years, you still got to do things your way, and maybe that, you know, affects them a little. But a good PRP team over the 6th, and DeSales, who we will see a week from Friday, will be a good one. Yeah, but Atherton, that's a team in Atherton who really doesn't, you know, who Atherton's really struggled, and they'll have trouble scoring on Trinity. Collins, one of the top teams in the state. I saw them playing the King of the Bluegrass. They lost the night I was there to Ballard, and that's a really good team. That'll be a good one. Yeah, Oldham County's had a pretty good year, but it's going to be tough to beat PRP at PRP.
Crowd filing in here. Looks like we're going to have a little extra in the cage tonight.
Yeah, the swimming and diving team.
Well, I hope there are some other students here tonight. You do get a bigger crowd because all the parents and all the grandparents of the swimmers and divers show up. Now, do they leave at halftime? That's usually what happens, but we'll see tonight. You can stream us tonight. You're going to listen to us here on KRD or stream us with the KRD call. That is livesportscaster.com. You can do a search for St. X and Eastern if you would like to watch the game and at the same time listen to Tony, Coach, and myself call the game. Tigers have to be ready to play here tonight, Tony. The conventional wisdom here, and we've seen this, is that the St. X Tigers are the 3rd best team in the 7th region. I think obviously Seneca would have something to say about that, and this Eastern team would have something to say about that. But this is a game that if you win, you take a step forward in being considered that 3rd best team in the region.
Yeah, John, I agree with you there. Looking at the regional records, Tigers are 6-2 in the region. Eastern is, what is that, 2-3. But the Tigers, right? The Tigers' schedule coming up. If you look at it, if they can beat Eastern tonight, Brown should be a win. I don't know much about Paul Dunbar. Seneca, DeSales, and J-Town's a good little stretch, but you can win all these games going out. You won't win all the games. Well, you might, but it's a favorable schedule if you ask me, because you've already played Male and Ballard, and good things can happen. So that if the Tigers can beat Eastern and beat Seneca, then you know they are the 3rd best team in the region.
Tigers will have a game tomorrow. It's a district game against Brown Bears.
Yes, it is.
Brown School Bears. That is at Brown tomorrow, 5:30. Varsity game only on a Wednesday night. St. X and Brown. Really a game that doesn't mean a whole lot unless you lose it, because St. X is going to play collegiate in the 1st round of the district. Male's going to play Brown.
Yeah, and you don't expect anything different than the only red flag to me is you didn't want to have to play collegiate in the district this year. A good collegiate team, and that's who the Tigers will take on. So you build for that. Hopefully you win that, and then you see what happens after that.
Take a break. Come back here with the head coach of the Tigers, Kevin Klein, after the University of St. X high school basketball. We're good.
Hello, John. Spalding, Bird, and
26 at half, played really well, a lot of energy, a lot of good execution, and found a way to hold on against a good team. Had a very positive Monday practice, so we're excited about very good Eastern team. Regional opponent. It's got a lot of good. It's going to challenge us to play really well to win the game.
Still going to be in the same boat when you get into district tournament play. What's the goal going forward here before tournament time?
Right now, the district goes through mail, and we're going to have to go through collegiate to get to mail. And we got to be who we need to be, who we are once we get to collegiate. And that should be a smart, well-executed offensive basketball team that values great shots and ball movement, low turnover rate, playing for one another. And then defensively, we really learned a lot from film Friday and Saturday with our two performances there. And we're really challenging the guys that we think they have another level or two that they are not playing at. And when we look at some of the individual and team efforts on film, and we agree that it's not our best, really trying to challenge our guys to give game-like intensity every day, every drill, every practice, and let the games be easier than the practice. And if we can get everybody mentally where they need to be, I think the physical tools are there, the talent is there, the shooting the ball is there, the rebounding is there. We have what we need. I think a lot of it's just from the head up right now, or the shoulders up, and just getting mentally, because it's a long season. It's a grind. We started out so well in December, won one of our two tournaments, and then that sick bug came, and we had a bit of a hiccup starting with Butler. I hope we made some steps forward on Saturday, and I think tonight's going to tell a lot about kind of how we can finish out these next few weeks of the regular season.
Do you have any trouble finding the arena tonight? It's been a while since you had a home game.
December 10th, and we love the Will Center. We love the friendly confines. We love the background, the rims, the locker room, the bench, everything about it. So we're looking to have 4 awesome home games. We're 3-0 at home, and it'd be great to try to have a 7-0 home record. But in order to do that, we got to win tonight, and we'll look forward to having DeSales on a Friday night. We got Woodford County on a Saturday, and then Moore will be our senior night. Looking forward to having a solid crowd in here tonight with the swimming team having their senior night. But there's no place like home, that's for sure.
Everybody talks about Mail and Ballard being the top 2 in the region. This is a pretty good Eastern team that not a lot of people talk about.
Very good team. 2 of the top sophomores in the city, let alone the state. And they don't beat themselves. And I think they're real solid. They got good length. They're going to get out in passing lanes. They value defense, and they're going to make us work for what we get. And this is what you want to be doing at the end of January, having a big-time opponent, good competition, where we have to be our best and play well in order to improve. And that's what this time of the year is all about. Like I said, trying to improve each day so we're where we need to be by the time district tournament comes.
Coach, good luck tonight.
Thanks a lot, John.
Hey, Coach Kevin Klein will be back with the opening tip-off. You're listening to St. X High School basketball on the Bissing Impact Sports Radio Network.
Pronounce.
Do what? What you got?
Pronounce Ashby's first name.
Chivion.
That's what I thought.
I'm going to go with. Hope he doesn't play.
He starts.
Damn it. Oh, you give starters Tiger Pep Band with our national anthem. John Spears, Tony Burke here at the Wills Center as we are getting ready for basketball action here, 7th region action on a Tuesday night. Our next home game, Tony, will be, I'm guessing, DeSales a week from Friday. It's a little bit of a, I guess we'll call it a Catholic rivalry as the Colts come into the Wills Center. That is a week from Friday, so that'll be February, help me out here.
It is February 7th.
February 7th, Tigers and DeSales. That'll be our next radio game. Eastern wearing their road blue uniforms, white numerals and gray trim. Tigers in their home whites with green numerals and gold trim. Don't forget, you can listen to us here on 790 as always, or you can listen to us while you watch the stream. Tim Bryan, Matt McCarthy here, the livesportscaster.com. Search for the St. X Eastern game, and you can actually watch the action tonight and listen to us call this game. After losing 3 out of 4, Tony, the Tigers trying to get back in the winning ways. This was a confident team back in December. They won a Christmas tournament. They came in second in a Christmas tournament, and it's a team that needs to regain that confidence, and that's swagger, quite frankly.
I believe so. The schedule got tougher. They played so well against Trinity in the big rivalry game, and you've been taking on some competition, and it makes things, you know, it teaches you a lot of stuff. It's a journey. We'll say that the whole time. You know, it's about the journey. It's not always about the end result, and that's what it's about. How much better can you get as the year goes on? And we'll see tonight, because this is a big game, I think, for both teams.
Now, I know I'm a grumpy old man.
Go ahead, Grump.
But I can do without the hype video in the pregame here.
Well,
what about you?
If you were out there and they were hyping you, you'd like it.
I don't think I would. I got to be honest with you. I don't think I would.
Come on.
You mentioned that Trinity game. That was one of those games I think Kevin Klein can point to and say, look, guys, this is what we can be, because they shot well, they rebounded well, they defended well, they did everything you needed to do in that Trinity game.
Yeah, and I think that's the way they played in the first half. We were not at Henry County for the Spencer County game.
Yeah.
Sounded like that. You know, shooting the ball well cures a lot of ills, and they shot 62% on Saturday.
That'll help.
That'll help a whole lot from the field. So we'll see. Play hard, get after it, see what happens.
Another 28-10 first quarter in favor of the Tigers would be ideal tonight. I'm not sure Eastern's going to let that happen. The sophomore James Jewell, you heard Kevin Klein in the pregame call him one of the best sophomores in Jefferson County. He will jump center for the Eagles. Tigers will go right to left as we're looking at it from the scorer's table here.
Always nice when you got a 6'6" sophomore that can play.
It doesn't hurt.
Never hurts you.
Simon Smith will step in to jump it up against Jewell, and we are just about ready to get underway here. Jewell gets the tip, back to Christian Spalding, and he'll walk it across for the Eagles. Tigers man-to-man. Carroll comes to get him. High left to Craig. Looks down low, nothing there. Goes cross court to Ashby. Gets it to Bird. Bird hands it to Spalding. Back to Bird on a give and go, and he lays it up and in. Defensive lapse by the Tigers right out of the gate here, and it's 2-0 Eastern. Carroll will walk it across against the Eastern man-to-man defense. Being challenged out top by Spalding. Doesn't pick up his dribble, now hands it to Mosley. Mosley drives baseline, in trouble, kicks it in the corner to Lynch. Mad dribbles out to the elbow, back out to Carroll. Tigers reset. Carroll with the count on, drives into the lane, goes up, and the ball is swatted away by Jewell, recovered by Ben Varga. That was a mismatch inside. Here's Varga, right corner, 3-ball in the air, no good, just long. Simon Smith with the offside rebound. Out to Mosley, Tigers reset. Mosley wants to go on Ashby, he does, gets into the lane, lays it up and in. Nice move by Mosley. I don't think the Eagle defense thought he was going to go all the way that time. We're tied at 2. Here's Spalding into the front court. High left to Craig, guarded by Varga. Left corner, it's Bird. Dribbles, kicks it out top to Jewell. Right side, Spalding. Good ball movement by the Eagles. Good defense by the Tigers. Ashby's got it. Out top to Spalding near the center circle. Spalding dribbles to the left. Cut off by Carroll. Now he goes right, goes down the lane, floats it up and in off the glass. Nice move and a nice finish from Christian Spalding. The Eagles lead at 4-2. John Carroll comes across. Spalding comes to get him. Handoff to Varga. Out top to Lynch. Fake down low. Out top to Smith. Here's Carroll. Over to Varga. Wide open three in the air. Good.
Look and shoot it.
Then Varga gives the Tigers their first lead with a long ball. 5-4. Here's Spalding with three on the other end. Short. Rebound taken down there. On the floor is a Tiger. And Craig puts it up and in as Varga was on the ground. Rubbing his elbow as he gets up.
Said he was okay.
You hit a three, you don't want to come out right after that possession, do you?
No, he was fighting to block out, and I think it's one of those ones where you kind of whiff. And
you hit the deck.
Craig stepped right over him to put the ball in the basket. You don't see that very often.
He did dribble while he did it. 6-5 Eastern. Carroll out top, looking, still looking, in trouble. Gets it to Lynch. Matt drives against Jewell, cut off at the top, and kicks it out to Mosley, to Carroll. Carroll dribbles finally and gets it out front to Matt Lynch. Guarded by Jewell. High left Mosley. They get it down. Double team comes on Smith. Gets it to Varga. Right side three. Long no good. Long rebound taken by Carroll. Into the lane. Goes up. Stripped. Smith gets it. Lays it in. Tigers get the lead back on the seesaw game here. 7-6. Here's Spalding. Baseline. Cut off by Carroll. Goes around the screen. Gets it to Craig at the free throw line. He backs out. Throws it to Bird. Zach Bird hits a cutting Spalding who lays it in. Nice looking cut by Spalding and a better delivery from Zach Bird. 8-7 Eastern. Under 5 to play in the quarter. Here's Carroll. Had a backdoor to Varga. Turned it down. Got it to Simon Smith instead. One dribble. Goes up. Hammer. No call. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Tiger ball.
Wow, a lot of contact. When you reach down like that as a defender, you usually get called for the foul. No complaints by anybody. Tigers will inbound. Trailing by 1, 4:44 first quarter. John Carroll will inbound.
Referees with the pink whistles tonight, and maybe they just don't work. Here's Mosley, high right, dribbling against Ashby. Cut off, he'll bring it out top. Nickel hands it off to Lynch on the give and go. Down the lane, he's blocked by Bird, gets it back. Matt kicks it out top to Carroll. Long one cross court to Varga. Fake the three, goes inside, out to Mosley. He's into the lane, now backs out with a 15-footer good. Second bucket for Nickel Mosley. Tigers lead it again, 9-8. Down low, here's Jewell, little jumper, back rimmed it from about 6 feet, and Lynch with a rebound. Carroll into the front court, or Mosley, excuse me, out to Lynch for a long three, rolls out of there, tipped by Bird, and the Eagles have it. Thought that soft rim was going to suck it right in, but it rolled off from Matt Lynch.
Tigers 1-2-2.
Spalding, middle to Bird, kicks it in the corner, three ball in the air from Craig, good.
8 league changes, John, in this game already.
11-9 Eastern. That's hard to do with that score. Here's Carroll down the lane, lost it, picked it back up, in trouble, kicks it to Smith. Simon looks cross court. It's Varga for three, no good long. Simon with the rebound, back to Ben again. He's not bashful, and this one rolls off.
Good looks.
Here's Spalding, delayed break for Eastern. Here's Craig into the lane, kicks it back out to Spalding, and the Eagles will reset. Lynch comes to get Spalding. He goes in, Spalding into the lane with the left hand off the glass and good. Third field goal for Christian Spalding. He's got 6. And Eastern has their biggest lead at 13-9. Still no fouls called in this game with 3 minutes to play in the quarter. Here's Mosley at the top. Goes by Ashby, flips it up, and it didn't get anything. Not a good decision from Nickel there. Eastern comes down with it. Spalding will bring it across. It's a high screen from Bird. Down low to Jewell. He drives against Smith. Tried to drop it for Spalding. It's stolen by John Carroll, who threw it away. Here's Bird down the lane. He charged right over the top of Matt Lynch, which saved 2 points from the Eagles. And that'll be the first foul of the game with 2:39 to play in the quarter.
Kyle Bond's back in the game for Matt Lynch. We've got a couple of Eastern Eagles in the game, John. Stacey Anderson and
Will Glass gets in the game. And now Aiden Mudd gets Ben Varga. Varga's had some good looks here, and ones he'll normally knock down.
Yeah, he's 1 for 5 from 3. And, boy, if you keep giving him those, I mean, coach will sign up for that all night.
Absolutely. Here's Carroll bringing it across with 2.5 to go in the quarter. High left to Aiden Mudd. Guarded by Craig. Out top, Bonsbach. Swings it right to Mosley. Here's Carroll in the lane. Lost it. Got it back. Puts up a little 2-footer. No glass needed there for John Carroll. He gets his first 2 of the game. 13-11. The Eastern lead is 2. Spalding brings it across. Now steps back out. Tigers in a 2-3 this time. Craig gets to the elbow with a little 12-footer. Good. 7 for Ben Craig. Averages 12 on the season. Ball thrown ahead to Bonsbach, but knocked out of bounds by Jewell. Tigers will keep it with 1:57 to go in the quarter.
9 lead changes in this first quarter.
That's a bunch. Ball thrown from Mudd all the way in the backcourt to Mosley. And he'll walk it across against Anderson. Right side to Carroll. Lazy pass out top, but Smith chases it down. High left to Aiden Mudd. Mudd dribbles into the elbow, lost it, but it went right to Smith. Carroll's got it in the corner now. He'll dribble out. Now turn, pivot to Simon Smith. Long three from the corner, good. Always a plus when you get a three from your center. Here the Eagles the other way, double team down low, kicked out to Ben Craig. Three is short, and Aiden Mudd up high for the rebound. Gets it to John Carroll. Tigers look to regain the lead here. Left side to Mudd. He'll dribble to the top and deny the handoff. Eastern denies it. Instead, Simon Smith goes to get it to Carroll. Left corner, Mosley. Fakes the three, picks up his dribble, in trouble, hits a cutting Carroll down the lane, who spins, knew there was trouble in there, got it back out to Mosley, 12-footer, no good. Simon Smith with a rebound, put it up, hits the deck, no call, and here comes Eastern the other way. Ben Craig to the top, wants to go on Mudd, kicks it into the corner instead to Anderson, who'll dribble it back out top and get it to Spalding. 40 seconds left here in the first quarter, a very quick first quarter. Spalding dribbling out top, nobody with him. John Carroll's at the top of the key. Kevin Klein okay with allowing Eastern to take the last shot here, it appears. Mudd now switches. He'll get Spalding on the switch at the top. 17 to go in the quarter. Spalding still out top with 10 seconds. Now he wants to go. High screen from Jewell. Left corner, here's Craig. Steps inside the three-point line and misses. Rebound by Jewell, goes up, stripped by Bonsbach. Ball on the floor, and the horn sounds. That'll be the end of the first quarter. 15-14 Eastern. We'll take a break. You're listening to St. X High School basketball on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Well, there's only one foul, Tony.
Yeah, John, when you get one foul, that keeps the flow of the game. Guys get tired. Not a lot of stoppages in play, a couple inbounds plays. Tigers will get the ball to start the second quarter. They trail by one. A couple substitutions in the game. First for the Eagles, a freshman, Isaiah Cook, number 2 in. And also in the game, number 4, Simon Craig. He's a junior.
And Baylor Bayline gets his first action for the Tigers. Tiger ball, trailing 15-14. Here's John Carroll. Backdoor, not there. Kicks it out to Mudd. Aiden looks, still looks. Now dribbles a couple of times. Being guarded out high by Simon Craig. Kicks it out to John Carroll. Tigers reset. Carroll to the elbow. Stops, in trouble. Kicks it to Mudd. Open, 3-ball right side. Good. Aiden Mudd with his first points of the game, and the Tigers regain the lead at 17-15. And the way Spalding was playing, I don't see how much longer Hensley keeps him on the bench. Here's the freshman, double teamed out top. He gets away from it, kicks it out top to Glass. He dribbles to the top, hands it off to Anderson, into the lane. Simon Craig comes around, little weave action out top and back to Anderson, guarded by Mosley. Right side to Cook. Out top to Craig. Here's Glass and a little pitch and catch here and a whistle. And I think they're going to get Kyle Bonsbach with a little physical play underneath. No, excuse me, it's Baylor Bayline. First foul on the Tigers.
Well, James Jewell knew that Baylor Bayline's in the game. I tell you what, they were flat going at it down there on the block, and that's the first foul on the Tigers.
Tigers look like being in a zone here on the inbounds play from under the Eastern basket. Out high to James Jewell. Hands it to Anderson. Into the lane. Here's Glass with a floater way off and rebounded by Mudd. That's two rebounds for Aiden Mudd here. Bonsbach in the front court. Cross court to Mudd. Dribbles to the elbow, into the lane, stops, dumps it underneath the Bayline. He goes in trouble, puts it up off the glass short, no good. And Jewell with the rebound. Anderson will walk it across, picks up his dribble and gets it to Jewell, and then takes it right back. Cook's got it out top. 17-15, Tigers with the lead. Jewell high left against Mudd. Cross court to Glass. Right wing, this is Anderson with a long three, good. Stacey Anderson just squared up and hit the second three for the Eagles, and they regain the lead, 18-17. Here's Mosley getting a high screen, and then late to the party there was Will Glass, who commits his first foul.
Well, nice job by Mosley. He sees the double off the screen come, runs right into it, and draws the foul.
Charlie Storm in for the Eagles, Bird back in as well, and Ben Varga back in the lineup for the Tigers. Mosley's got it in the backcourt. He'll dribble to the top. High left to Varga. They look for the lob down low. It's not there. Bayline, baseline. Bayline on the baseline. I like that. Back out to Varga. Swing it high left to Mosley. Nickel gets a high screen. Gets it to Bonsbach. Cross court Mudd. Three ball in the air. Good. Good decision that time from Kyle Bonsbach. Mudd's hit 2 threes in a row. The Tigers regain the lead. Here's Anderson, high right, out top to Cook. Swing it left side to Storm, to Cook. Tried to throw it inside, knocked away by Mosley, but Cook got it back. Cross court now. It is Anderson who traveled before he took off to try to go baseline on Bonsbach.
Pretty good job defensively by the Tigers. They're aggressive on the defensive end. I tell you, either when they're in the zone or the man-to-man, good job at opposite. Good job of getting it in the middle, kicking it out, and Aiden Mudd with 2 3-pointers in a row.
20-18 Tigers, 5:20 to go in the half. Mosley gets a high screen from Bonsbach. Dribbles, kicks it out to Mudd. Mudd with a couple of dribbles, hands it back to Nickel. Mosley back to Mudd, out top. Drives to the elbow, stops, gives it to Bonsbach. Looked to go baseline, nothing there. Got it to Mosley. He's trapped in the corner. Got it to Kyle. 2 dribbles, out top. Varga faked the three. Goes inside the three-point line and misses the jumper. Ball tipped. Bonsbach's got it, lost it. Mosley picks it up, goes up, and he's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line.
Zach Bird's going to get that one. Tigers doing a good job of fighting inside. Varga, I don't think, had a control of it when he wanted to shoot the three. Put it on the floor, got in the lane, couldn't get it, but Tigers doing a great job on the offensive boards.
Second foul on Zach Bird. He'll take a seat here as the Eagles will send 3 new players in after the first free throw. Mosley, 4 points in the first quarter, knocks down the first free throw.
70% foul shooter, hits the first one.
So Ben Craig, Jewell, and Spalding, 3 starters all back in for the Eagles. Only one guy's come out so far. Now,
no, you can't play with 6.
Yeah, you can't do that.
We don't count real well, me and you, but we know that.
I was told there would be no math. Mosley will have one more to try to give the Tigers their biggest lead, which would be at 22-18 if he can knock it down, and he does not. In and out. Craig with the rebound. Tigers come with half-court pressure. Eastern breaks it. Anderson out top to Spalding, and St. X will set up in that 1-2-2 zone. Spalding out top. Looks for a high screen from Jewell. Gets it. Throws in the corner to Anderson. He gets it to Jewell at the free throw line. Try to get it down low to Spalding. It's tipped. Spalding was able to catch it. Hits Craig on the running layup. Eastern does a good job of finding the cutter against this zone defense. 21-20 Tigers. Here's Bayline at the elbow. Cross court. Mosley's three way off. Up high is Bayline, in trouble. Dribbled it out of bounds. Boy, he went in between 2 Eagles to get that one, but came down way too close to the baseline. Calvin Schubert will check in for the Tigers.
Well, I wish more guys, John, would understand to go get. You see a guy shoot, you know it's going up. Go get position, and Bayline went out of his area to rebound. Unfortunately for him, he got out of bounds.
Calvin Schubert in for the Tigers, his first action. Bayline will take a seat. Here's Spalding in the backcourt. Cross court still in backcourt to Craig. They play pitch and catch. Spalding in the corner to Storm. Out top to Craig. Open, fake the three. Goes into the lane with a little floater. Good.
Nice player.
I like the game that Ben Craig brings here, Tony. He's got 11. And the Eagles regain the lead. Mosley out top. Handoff to Varga. He dribbles to the elbow. Stops. Goes up with a 15-footer. Good. Second field goal, 5th point for Ben Varga. 23-22 Tigers. Spalding double team in the backfield. They throw it long ahead to Anderson. He goes into the lane and he's pushed as he tried to pass it over to Craig. Calvin Schubert will get the foul for the Tigers. His first and the team's second.
Call it on Mosley.
Oh, they call on Mosley. Wow. I certainly thought it was on Schubert, but instead we'll give it to Nickel. His first. Quick one into Craig, put it up, probably got fouled, no call, ball on the floor. Eastern's Charlie Storm chases it down, gets it to Craig. Out top, this is a 3-ball in the air, way off. Jewell with a rebound here to Craig in the corner. Cross court. This is Ashby back in there. Storm with a bomb from near midcourt. I don't know if he knew where he was, Tony, but it was just short. Online. Tigers come the other way. 3 chances for the Eagles. They can't convert. Mosley throws it away. Saved by Schubert. He throws it off the leg of Craig. And the Tigers will keep it with under 3 to go in the half.
Well, Simon Smith coming back in the game for the Tigers. Nickel Mosley's got to understand. John Carroll also comes in. That when you get in the lane, you can't blind spin. You get in bad spots. Calvin Schubert helped him out by saving the ball. Tigers lead by 1. They inbound with 2:53 left here in the half.
Carroll dribbling out top against Ashby. Gets it to Varga at the free throw line, and he's hit as he goes up for the jumper. Charlie Storm, and give Varga credit there. He knew where Storm was, and he drew the foul. He'll shoot a pair here.
Yeah, a nice screen and a cut, and if Charlie Storm just stays close to him, it's a tough shot. But Varga will go to the foul line, and Varga on the year shoots 72%.
That'll improve as he knocks down the first one for his 6th point. He's tied Aiden Mudd for the team lead right now with 6. 24-22, Tigers, 2:45 to go in the first half.
Good ball game here.
Yeah, it is. Very entertaining. Second one up and in for Ben. He's got 7. Tiger lead is 3. Spalding will bring it across down the right sideline. Tigers sitting in that 2-3 zone here. High left to Craig. Schubert chases him out near midcourt, now backs off as he swings it to Spalding. High screen from Jewell. He takes it back, ball loose in the lane. Tigers converged on James Jewell, and they come up with it. Here's Varga the other way, and he carries.
And John, it's a carry, but
you don't see it called very often.
I can't see you calling it because guys carry the ball all the time.
It wasn't egregious, that's for sure.
No, and he really wasn't doing anything, but it is a turnover by the Tigers with 2:17 left here in the first half. They lead by 3.
Spalding will walk it across again. I don't think Coach Henley happy about that non-call on this last offensive possession. He thought Jewell got hammered. Here's Storm to the elbow, into the lane, cut off by Lynch, kicks it out top to Spalding. Carroll comes to get him. Left side, out high to Craig. Ashby's got it at the top now, guarded by Varga. They get it in the right corner. Here's Storm, again into the lane, stops, goes up, blocked by Lynch and Smith, I think. Here's Carroll and Lynch with a 2-on-1. Carroll goes up, lays it up and in. Boy, he was patient, let the defense go by, and laid it in. Tigers with their biggest lead at 27-22. 1:33 to go. Timeout Eastern will take one as well. You're listening to St. X High School basketball on the Bissing Impact Sports Radio Network. I'm going to tell David Smith. Back at St. X, John and Tony, 1:30 to go. Eastern ball trailing by 5 here in the first half. Christian Spalding out top, guarded by Carroll, gets it to Ashby. Double team comes, back to Spalding. Somebody's open. It's Craig, left side, open three, good. Second three of the night for Ben Craig. He's got 14 of the Eagles' 25. Tigers lead at 27-25 with a minute to play in the half. Simon Smith's got it, out top to Varga. He'll jock a three, in and out, no good, and Craig with a rebound. Eagles want to run here. Ben Craig, right side to Storm, out top, open, long three from Spalding, good. And just like that, Eastern vaults back into the lead, 28-27. And that was an NBA three. Here's Carroll into the lane, in trouble, kicks it down on the baseline to Smith. Simon dribbles out and hands it to Lynch with 30 seconds. Matt Lynch, guarded by Ben Craig, dribbles, hands it to Carroll. Now both teams with fouls to give here if they want to avoid free throws. Here's Carroll into the lane. He's fouled, and that's okay if you're Coach David Henley.
Yeah, and I don't like the move right there by John Carroll because you have 19 seconds. You don't have to attack right now.
He went early there.
He went way early.
First foul on Ben Craig, 5 now on the Eagles. They still have 1 to give before Tigers are in the penalty. Schubert's got it in the corner. Dribbles, hands off to Carroll. Guarded by Spalding out top with 13 seconds. Here's Lynch, high right, out top to Smith with 6 seconds. Vargas got it, long three ball in the air, way short. Lynch tried to tip it, couldn't, and that'll end the first half. 28-27, Eastern with the lead. A very entertaining first half there. And Ben Varga, missed that long three. He struggled from three tonight. He's had some good looks, but struggled. But, 7 from Vargas, 6 from Mudd, 14 from Ben Craig for Eastern. He's been their main go-to guy here so far tonight. We're at halftime here. Eye Care Institute halftime report is next. Eastern leading St. X 28-27. You're listening to St. X High School basketball on the Bissing Impact Sports Radio Network. Here's Tony Burke, halftime here, as the St. X swimming and diving team, which, I don't know, did they win another state championship? Are they going to win another state title this year?
Yeah, John,
odds are pretty good.
I think the odds are really good.
As I look up at the banner here, let's see, 2019, the last time they did not win a state championship in swimming and diving. Tony, can you tell me? I can tell you.
In the 80s.
1988 was the last time St. X didn't win the swimming state championship. That's incredible.
I'm applying for the next time it comes out.
28-27 Eastern here at halftime. And you've got to look at any of the interesting numbers. Anything jump out at you there?
Well, the first thing, both teams have hit 4 3-pointers, but Eastern's taken 8. They're shooting 50%. Tigers are 4 for 12 for 33. And Ben Vargas 1 for 7. Only the last one was not, it was a desperation kind of shot. I still think Coach Lamb will let him shoot 6 more threes in the second half if he's open like that. But rebounds, Tigers have 3 more rebounds. The difference in the first half, why Eastern has a 1-point lead. 2 3-pointers in the last minute 9. Tigers missed a couple.
And Christian Spalding's was an absolute bomb. Ben Craig, Tigers got to find out how to slow him down. They've done a great job on James Jewell inside. He's scoreless, leading scorer for the Eagles. But Ben Craig has hurt the Tigers, slashing to the basket and shooting long range as well.
A nice job of passing the ball by Eastern, too. Craig's 6 for 9 from the field, 2 for 3 from the 3. And Christian Spalding's 4 for 5 and 1 for 2. So those two guys are 10 for 14 from the field. So that's where Eastern's scoring has come from. 23 of their 28 from those two guys.
3 for Stacey Anderson, 2 for Zach Bird. You got the Tigers scoring.
For the Tigers, a balanced scoring attack by the Tigers. 4 for Carroll, 5 for Mudd and Mosley, 6 for Aiden Mudd. And the leading scorer for the Tigers is Ben Varga with 7 points.
Yeah, and Simon Smith hit that 3 as well. As you mentioned, Tigers with 4 threes. Aiden Mudd 2 for 2 from long range, and they were good-looking shots.
Yeah, that was only 2 shots. Both knocked him down. It's been a good basketball game. Both teams have played pretty good defense, fought hard, and it's just a case of knocking some shots down.
And is it bad officiating, or are they just letting them play?
I think they're just letting them play.
Yeah, because I think both coaches were not happy with some non-calls there, but it's been the same both ways, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So 28-27 here at half as the St. X swimming and diving team gets seniors get honored here at halftime. They give the moms a rose tonight. They'll give the kids a ring after they win another state title coming up. 28-27 Eagles. We'll be back with second half action. You're listening to St. X High School basketball on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. As we try to look up some scores around town. Any luck, Tony?
I've got some early scores, so I'm trying to go to the Twitter machine.
Yeah, I'm on the Twitter machine, too. I don't think anybody's covering any games tonight.
Wow, what's that? Were they slacking here a little?
As it turns out. Everybody,
LIT, girls LIT, that's where Jason Frakes is.
Everybody wanted to stay home and watch the Kobe Bryant tribute. Tragic what happened to the former Laker, Tony, but I say it on my radio show all the time. I love watching greatness, and Kobe Bryant was one of the greats.
Yeah, he was, and it's always a shame when it happens to anybody, and doesn't matter if it's an athlete, just a regular person, a military person.
Yeah.
It's just rough when you know a child and a father passes away. That's the main thing to me. And I listen to you, and that's the truth. I think that's what hit everybody harder than being Kobe Bryant. Yeah, Kobe Bryant's a superstar, but a lot of people go through what those people are going through, and you just feel fine.
And when you hit your knees and you're praying, pray for the people that are left behind, because those are the ones that need your prayers. The ones that are gone are gone, and they're at their next resting place, their next life, if you will. And the ones that are left behind, that's the tough part.
It is, and you saw the junior college coach Antebelli, his wife and daughter. So there's a lot of stories there, and you just pray that those people can get through that.
I made sure and DVR'd that TNT tribute tonight. I'll go home and watch that tonight because I'm a little, it's easy to get Kobe'd out in this era of social media. I actually had to turn on the impeachment trial just to get away from it last night. How bad is that I had to do that?
Well, there was some bad basketball on last night.
There was. North Carolina State last night. Louisville, congratulations. I think you're going to win that one Saturday. Ooh. But you never know this year. It's crazy. It's the craziest college basketball season I've ever seen.
I don't disagree.
Is that fair?
I don't disagree.
There's no great teams. There's no great players. There are just teams that play great on certain nights.
It's tough to watch a lot of the games. They're just not very exciting.
Who's your Super Bowl winner, by the way?
Super Bowl winner. I'm going with 45 Niners.
The 45 Niners?
My nephew used to call them the 45 Niners. Joe Hayden, class of, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I think for some reason, I think the Chiefs are more explosive, John.
Yes.
But I think the 49ers overall are going to win the game.
I've been on the Chiefs all year long. I said in preseason they'd be in the Super Bowl. I also said Dallas would be in the Super Bowl. Full disclosure. But I'm going to stay on that Chiefs bandwagon. I like them a lot this week. And that should tell everybody.
Load up on the Niners.
Yeah, go the other way. Tigers lead it here 28-27. Both teams back out on the court. We're about a minute and a half away from the start of the second half. Lynch and Simon Smith with 3 rebounds apiece. That leads the Tigers. John Carroll's got 3 assists. And, of course, Ben Varga with those 7 points leading St. X. He is, as Tony mentioned, 1 of 7 from three-point land. But 6 of those 7 three-pointers, you'll take them every time out of Ben Varga.
Oh, good looks in the one he shot before the last one. He was heading down the court. He let go of it, and he was posing. He thought it went in.
Well, usually on these rims, they go in. What
did.
was your shooting percentage in high school? Just a guess.
38.
What would it have been on these rims?
49. I shot on these rims. I'm going to tell you what. I would have been a shooter.
I think everybody's a shooter.
Gosh.
If you can't shoot on
It's the
these
high school rims in
you're
general.
just an awful shooter, right?
Yeah. I do have a score in the second quarter.
All right.
Trinity leads Atherton 22-11. Most of these look like they're not all the way up to date. Butler over Central in second quarter, 23-7.
Well, the other portion is it's 10 after 8. We had a really fast first half there. Tigers only were called for 2 fouls in that half. Eastern was called for 5. There weren't a lot of whistles. I like that personally. They're letting them play, and it's a free-flowing game. And I think because of that, both teams actually they look pretty good.
Yeah, and you're right. Most games might have started a little late. It seems like they're not scoring, but it probably is right. John, and one thing I don't like about these games when there's not many fouls is you get to talk all the time, and I don't.
Well, the fans don't like that either, I'll be honest with you. All right, Eastern will send out their starters. Ashby, Ben Craig, Spalding, Jewell, and Bird. And they will have the ball first to start the second half. Tigers send out their starting 5 as well. Lynch, Smith, Mosley, Varga, and John Carroll. And we're ready to go here with 16 minutes of basketball left here in regulation. Eastern with the ball in a 1-point lead. Spalding will walk it across. John Carroll comes to meet him at the top of the key. Right side out high to Bird. Bird cross court to Craig. Fake the 3. They get it down low to Jewell, and a foul on Simon Smith as he was holding James Jewell underneath. That'll be the first on Smith, first on the Tigers, and a concerted effort, I think, early by David Henley to get the ball down to his leading scorer who has not scratched tonight.
Nice looking play. Foul on Smith.
Spalding gets it in low to Bird, lays it up, rolls off, and Smith up high for the rebound. The Tigers dodge a bullet there. And Mosley will bring it across. Nickel, high left to Carroll. He looks down low, nothing there. Gets a high screen from Smith, goes in himself, stops, goes up, puts it up, got hit, and no call. That should have been the 3rd foul on Bird, and the loose ball picked up by Jewell. Boy, they're letting them knock each other around a little bit. Here's Spalding out high to Bird with an open 3, good. Zach Bird has 5 now. He was in foul trouble in that first half, didn't play a whole lot. And the Eagles' lead is up to 4, 31-27. I thought John Carroll got hit by Bird down on this first offensive possession for the Tigers. Here's Mosley out top to the elbow, fakes, goes in, drops it for Smith, ball fake and a lay-in. James Jewell went flying by Simon Smith, and he had an easy 2. 31-29 Eagles. Here's Spalding into the lane, lost it as he went in, got it back, flips it to Craig for the floating layup.
Tough break.
Carroll walks it across. Guarded by Spalding. High right to Lynch. Out high to Mosley. Mosley gets a high screen from Matt Lynch. He's guarded by Jewell. They get it to Simon Smith. 1 dribble, goes inside. Spins, fakes, out to Mosley. Nowhere to go. Bird cuts him off. He'll reset. Mosley goes into the lane, lost it. Here's Jewell the other way. 3-on-1 for the Eagles. Spalding knocked away and stolen from behind by Carroll, but he couldn't keep it in bounds, and Spalding is down on the in the end zone. He gets up quickly, helped by James Jewell.
A good hustle back on defense by the Tigers. Nickel Mosley saw he had a mismatch and just lost the ball going to the basket. Eastern leads by 4, 6-11 third quarter. They inbound on their own basket.
Here's Craig, right wing, open, 3 ball in the air, way short, and Smith up for the rebound. Did get some rim on it. Here's Mosley the other way. Nickel stops, right corner. Varga, dribble, 3, no good. Lynch tipped it. Smith has it. They're going to call Lynch for over the back as Ben Craig went to the ground. First on Matt Lynch, second on the Tigers.
Varga struggling from the field. He had 31 Saturday in the game and had a bunch against Ballard too. So just a tough night shooting right now, but Tigers trail by 4.
8 of 13 3-pointers from Varga on Saturday. He's 1 for 8 tonight. Here's Spalding, beats Carroll off the dribble, gets it in the corner to Ashby, back to Spalding. High left to Craig, down low to Bird, and lays it in. 6-point lead, biggest of the night for Eastern, 35-29. Here's Carroll, down the right baseline, pushed by Jewell, no call. In trouble, got it to Mosley in the lane. He lays it up, no whistle still. Here's Smith with it, out top to Varga. Ben dribbles, 12-footer baseline, no good. Mosley with the board, gets it to Smith, knocked away, and here's Jewell the other way, stolen by Carroll. Ball on the floor, picked up by Spalding, looks ahead, now dribbles to the top, goes into the lane with a little floater, rolls off, tipped by Bird. Lynch has it, and it's gotten hectic. John Carroll gets the ball, and Kevin Klein says, slow it down.
We go to a soccer game and a basketball game breakout.
Wow, it's crazy there. Carroll across the timeline, hands it to Mosley, little weave. Back door to Varga, he lays it up and rolls off. Stolen by Lynch, a whistle, and he's fouled. He just took it away from Bird, and that'll be the 3rd foul on Zach Bird, I believe.
And Ben Varga very upset with himself, missing the left-handed layup coming in from the right side. But a great job by Matt Lynch to stay with it. And Jewell gets that foul.
Yeah, Jewell got the foul, his first. Varga's got it in the corner. Ben dribbles into the lane, stops, out top to Lynch. Matt drives in, little hook shot floater, good. First 2 for Matt Lynch. 35-31 Eastern. Spalding walks it across. Out top, high left to Craig. Down low to Bird. Guarded by Simon Smith. Nowhere to go, so he kicks it out to Spalding for a long 3, way short. Ball hits the turf. Good block out by the Tigers. There's Varga who picked it up. He's to the top, tries to drive on Jewell. Nowhere to go. Kicks it in the corner to Mosley. Nickel backs out, back to Varga. Long 3 ball in the air, good.
Shooters keep shooting, don't they, John?
Now, Ben Varga can shoot anytime he wants for me. It is 35-34. Tigers with 5 straight points. They trail it by 1 with under 4 to play in the quarter. High left is Craig. Gets a high screen. There's Bird alone for the layup.
Well, they went to the trap. Nobody else rotated.
Bird's got 9 points, 7 here in the 3rd quarter. 4 of them on easy layups. Here's Mosley out top. The count is on. He gets a high left to Carroll. They look down low. Nothing there. Back to Mosley against Ashby. Mosley wants to drive. Instead, he stops and jacks up a 3 way short. Rebounded by Craig. Tries to throw it deep. Carroll couldn't get to it. Jewell's got it, and he slams it. First 2 for James Jewell as Carroll went for the steal and couldn't get it. 39-34 Eastern. Here's Mosley out top. Gets it to Smith at the free throw line. Ball knocked away and out of bounds by Ashby as Tigers try to go with the back door. Anderson in for Eastern. Bonsbach and Mudd for the Tigers. And Glass back in for the Eagles as well.
But forcing the pass right there just a little bit. Tigers forcing the issue. Need a good look here. They trail by 5 with 3:06 left in the 3rd.
Mosley looking, gets it to Simon Smith. 1 dribble against Glass. Goes up with a hook shot. Good. Patience again from Simon Smith. Pays off. He's got 9. The Eastern lead is back down to 3. 3 ball in the air, short, no good. Ball on the ground. Mosley had it, lost it, stolen by Spalding. You know, Nichols just got to pick that up. He had it easily, and he didn't. Left side, Jewell's got it. Out top to Anderson, who swings it to Spalding. Mosley just in too big of a hurry there. Here's Anderson, high left, out top to Craig. Throws the lob down low to Jewell. He's got it against Smith. Goes up, missed the layup. He'll shoot a pair, and that'll be the 2nd on Simon Smith. third on the Tigers here in the third quarter.
But you're right, John. They're making a conscious effort to try to get the ball to their leading scorer, James Jewell, who averages 14 points a game. He's just a sophomore, 6'6", and we saw how athletic he was on that dunk just a minute ago.
He'll shoot a pair. First one's up and rolls out.
And Jewell on the season is a 71% foul shooter.
That was a good-looking free throw. Just rimmed out on it.
Sometimes they don't go in, do they?
He'll have one more, and he knocks that one down. That time you don't touch the rim, it goes in. I've never seen a ball hit the net only and come out. Here's Mosley across the timeline. Tigers trail it by 4. Dribbles high left. Now goes to the wing. Picks it up. Cross court to Lynch in the corner. Matt drives baseline. Bounces it off his own foot and out of bounds.
And some turnovers here in the third quarter by the Tigers. Hurting them. Still right there. And I tell you, John, as good as we saw the first half, Tigers making a lot of mistakes here in the second.
Mudd comes to get Spalding out top. A little man-to-man for the Tigers here. Spalding high left to Craig, guarded by Lynch. Looks down low, nothing there. Out top to Jewell. Swing it right side to Anderson. Anderson out top to Glass. A foul going to be called on Bonsbach as he tried to push his way through the James Jewell screen. First on Kyle, and now 4 on the Tigers here with 2 minutes to go in the quarter.
My dad used to tell me sometimes you run through those, let that guy know that you're there. Now Eastern will inbound under their own basket.
Get it into the block to Craig. He fumbled it, got it back. It's swung out top to Anderson. He's in trouble, gets it out to Jewell, high left. Back to Anderson. Craig, high right. Double team comes to him. Tigers in that man, that 2-3 zone here, maybe a 1-2-2 here. High left is Anderson, out to Spalding. I think Coach Henley said, pull it out. I want to see what they're in here. And we're not really sure. I think it's just a man-to-man here, isn't it?
I'm not sure either, John.
Anderson's got it, high left. Gets it in the corner to Jewell. They try to throw it down low, knocked away by Bonsbach. Good hands by Kyle, and he gets it to Mosley. He'll walk it across with 1:15 to go in the third. Mosley at the top. Gets it in the elbow to Bonsbach. Mosley out top, high right. Gets it to Mudd. He's cut off. Mudd dribbles to the elbow, goes in, floater, no good. Got it back and laid it up and in.
I think Jewell got hit upside the head on that play, John, because he ducked down as Mudd went to the basket, and then he picked it up and scored when Jewell kind of dropped his head, and he's still down under the basket.
And that's the whistle. He's kind of looking at himself under the bucket, holding his head. Now, he wears goggles, so we'll see if he's still got those on. He does not. John Carroll back in for the Tigers, and Mudd did a great job that time, Tony. You get your shot blocked, 3 things can happen. You lose it, you get it back, or they call a foul. Well, he got it back, put it in.
Yeah, and that's
2 of the 3 things that can happen are good.
Well, he attacked. Eastern did a pretty good job of contesting, but you know what? You don't ever stop on the play, do you? And he got the ball and scored it. So as we have a breakage in play here, 39, right at a minute left, 59.9. Eastern Eagles 40, St. X Tigers 38. And James Jewell is still down under the basket, walking towards the Eastern bench.
Zach Bird will come in and give Jewell probably the rest of this quarter off with 1 minute to go here.
I think he took one in the eye. That eye looks like
I think he did too. Ooh, it looks closed from where we sit. Good job by Mudd. He's got 8 points now, and the lead for Eastern is down to 2. Bird in the backcourt. Quadruple team comes, and out of bounds is Ben Craig, who went up to get the ball, but foot was on the line when he went up to get it.
I think the Tigers totally screwed up in the press they were in. And the Eastern,
4-man trap in the backcourt?
Yeah, that's
you don't see that very often.
It worked.
Carroll will walk it across. Guarded by Spalding. Dribbles to the elbow. Gets it to Bonsbach. They try to throw the back door, but stolen. Spalding read it. Gets ahead of them, and he throws it away. Mudd with a steal to Lynch. And here's Carroll, and David Henley just yelled, why? That was a pass that looked like it was intended for John Carroll. Here's Carroll out top to Lynch. Tigers want the last shot here. Guarded by Spalding. Matt gets it on at the top of the key. They go back door to Mudd. He lost it. Got it back. Out top Smith. Left corner. Carroll 3 way off. Bonsbach tips it to himself. Gets it back. Gets it to Simon Smith. Goes in. Mudd. Corner. 3. No good. Smith tips. Couple of guys tip. Should have been a foul on Smith there. Got away with it. Tigers have it with 7 seconds to go in the quarter. 4 to go. 3. Carroll just told by the coach. Here's Smith. Long 3. Going to bank it in? No.
I'm going to tell you what, John. David Carroll's going to get teed up here.
David Henley, I'm sorry. He is going right after the official, and he's right, Tony. Simon Smith committed a foul, no call. 3 quarters in the book. Eagles lead it by 2. You're listening to St. X High School basketball on the Bissing Impact Sports Radio Network. Fourth quarter, 40-38. Sloppy quarter that time. We've had some good basketball. That was sloppy. A lot of turnovers by each team.
Yeah, both teams not real solid here. Who's going to win this ball game? Who's going to play the best in the fourth quarter? Tigers trail by 2 to start it.
Carroll, Mudd, Bayline, Bonsbach in for the Tigers along with Matt Lynch. Here's Lynch out top. Drives to the elbow. Stops. Out top to Mudd. Aiden with a couple of dribbles. Guarded by Ben Craig.
Where's the scoring coming from here, John?
That's a good question, Tony. I think the leading scorer out there is probably Matt Lynch on the season. Aiden Mudd's had a good offensive game so far here tonight. Ball knocked away. Lynch chases it down in the backcourt. And that's knocked off of his leg by Glass and out of bounds. And I agree with you. If you're Kevin Klein, you got to look out there and say, I better get some offense in this game.
Yeah, everybody looking around to see who they're going to throw the ball to.
Isaiah Cook, the freshman, takes the inbounds for Eastern and walks it across. High left to Craig, way out high. Dribbles left, one dribble, picks it up, gets it to Bird. Bird trying to back down Bayline. He went to the ground, so did Bayline, and tried to draw the charge and may have flopped. No call, ball back out to Cook. Freshman gives it to Glass, out top to Anderson, right side to Craig. Guarded by Mudd. Craig looks to go on Aiden Mudd here. He'll get to the elbow, looking, still looking, cross court to Anderson. Out top to Cook, under 7 to play. Each team's had 1 possession in the first minute of this fourth quarter. Ben Craig, high left, out top to Bird, right side Anderson. Down low to Craig, he beat his man, goes up against Mudd and is fouled. If he goes up right away, he's got a layup. He waited for Mudd to catch back up with him, and Aiden Mudd will pick up his first foul.
Well, I tell you, it's hard for anybody to complain about officiating because there's just not a lot called. There's a lot of contact, and there's nothing called.
Ben Craig will shoot a pair. First one's up and in. He had 14 in the first half. That's his 17th point of the night.
70% foul shooter, and Eastern shoots 73 for the year.
Well, that's pretty good for a team. Craig 2 for 2, 42-38 Eagles. No subs for the Tigers. Well, here comes Varga to the scores table as we speak. Mudd, left side, out high to Bonsbach. He drives baseline, in trouble, kicks it out to Lynch, over to Mudd. Open 3 ball in the air, no good. Bonsbach with a rebound, and he's hammered from behind. Good block out by KB, and Stacy Anderson will get the foul. Well, they call on Cook.
Well, I was writing the same thing you wrote down, John.
Second,
Varga and Mosley come in.
Second foul on the Eagles here in the second half. Ball into Bonsbach. He lost his dribble, got it to Varga. Varga, cross court to Mudd, should have been stolen. He gets it to Mosley in the corner. Ball knocked away from him. Now Nickel dribbles into the lane, puts up an 8-footer, good.
Playing through contact, John.
Absolutely. It's 3rd and goal. 42-40 Eagles with the lead. Cook brings it across, right side out high to Craig. Back to Cook, and they'll reset. High left Craig. Mudd went for the steal, didn't get it. Craig goes for a baseline 8-footer short, no good. Tipped by Mudd, and I think a foul on the Tigers as somebody was holding Mudd down. He tried to go up with 2 arms, went up with 1,
Varga.
That'll be the first on Varga. Now 6 on the Tigers, so the Eagles will shoot from here on in with 5:54 to play. Cook to put it in play. Still looking out high to Glass, who hands it to Anderson. Anderson dribbling out, standing on the St. X center court. Right side to Glass. Fake the 3. Bonsbach closed on him. Out top to Cook. Tries to drive on Mosley. Mosley falls down. Cook takes an 18-footer, no good. Ball tipped, and I think it'll be a foul on Eastern. Tigers blocked out well that time. Bayline, Mudd, and Bonsbach all there. Anderson does get this foul. That's his first. Now 3 on the Eagles.
Both teams going at it on the boards right there. They're fighting for everything.
Mosley takes the inbounds. He'll walk it across against Stacy Anderson. High post to Bayline. Back to Mosley. Out to Mudd. Open 3. Way short. Ball hits the ground. Barely got rim. And here come the Eagles the other way. Ball on the floor. Anderson lost it. Picked up by Mosley. And he's fouled by Ben Craig as he tried to take off down to the other end.
Well, John, after all that contact, there's a little foul coming out. I mean, there's people knocking each other down all over the place, and the ball gets loose. Mosley grabs it. He gets bumped, and there's a foul. So 5:15 left in the ball game. Eagles lead the Tigers 42-40 as Calvin Schubert comes in the game for Aiden Mudd.
So it's Mosley, Schubert, Varga, Bayline, and Bonsbach. The killer bees under there, Bayline and Bonsbach. They'll knock you around a little bit. That's why they're the killer bees. Mosley, high left to Schubert. Calvin looking down low, nothing there. One dribble, back out to Mosley. Nickel gets it at the top to Bayline. Baylor dribbles twice, gives it to Schubert. Calvin hands it to Varga, and a foul as Varga tried to get through the screen. He's being held by Isaiah Cook. So very quickly, Tony, the fouls are evening up here. That's 5 on Eastern. Second on Cook.
Yeah, got him here in a short span, but
Mosley's got it. Front court, right next to his head coach. Dribbles out to the top to Bonsbach, high left. Glass comes to get him, out top to Mosley. Mosley dribbles left, gets a screen from Bonsbach, in trouble. Got it to Bayline, right side Schubert. Tries to drive baseline, he's cut off, lost his dribble, went to one knee, and Klein calls timeout. We'll take one as well. You're listening to St. X High School basketball on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
got to get Simon Smith back in the game.
Do what?
Got to get Simon Smith back in the game. Did he just bring him in? I think, yeah, he just brought him back in.
You got have to have some low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screen. I know what you're saying.
Not right now.
On that end of the floor.
Yeah, you got to look at what you got. Been a lot of points scored here in the first 3.5. It's 2-2 this quarter.
2-2 this quarter?
It's
wow.
2-2.
Yeah. That's what I got.
2 free throws and a Mosley.
Went to one knee and kept his dribble alive. I don't like the rule, but the coach can call the timeout. Kevin Klein was standing right next to the official, took the full timeout there. It also allows them to get Simon Smith back into the game as Bonsbach goes out. Tigers will put it in play under their own basket. Here's a lob to Smith. He's got it, goes up. There'll be a foul on Eastern pushing him on the catch. And before the shot, that's the third on Ben Craig here. Now, it's not foul trouble because there's only 4:32 to go, but it's 3 on Ben Craig.
Both teams will shoot the bonus. Whoa.
Inbounds, terrible pass, knocked out of bounds by Schubert, who got away with a foul on Ben Craig. Craig looked like the intended receiver there, and Schubert went over to just kind of knock it out of bounds, banged into Craig. No call, except that Eastern gets the turnover.
Christian Spalding back in the game. We haven't seen him for a while.
And we haven't, and James Jewell back in. Good to see him in. He still looks like that eye is about half shut. Out top is Craig, gets it to Jewell at the free throw line, lost it, got it back, and got it to Anderson. Ball swung to the left side to Craig gets it out top to Spalding with 4:10 to play. It's a 2-2 quarter, as you pointed out during the break here, Tony. Here's Anderson out top, back to Spalding. Way out high, wants to dribble against Mosley. Throws the lob down low to Jewell. He corrals it and lays it in. Goes reverse layup. Good pass and a good lay-in that time by James Jewell. Playing with one eye out there. Here's Smith out top to Bayline to Mosley. They look down low, nothing there. Out to Varga. Long three ball in the air, good. Third three for Ben. He's got 13, and the Eastern lead is down to 1. Here's Spalding out top against Mosley. High left to Jewell. He'll dribble out high. They'll let him dribble out there. Will Simon Smith back to Spalding. Eagles reset. Spalding dribbles to the right. Out high to Bird. Bird to Craig. Top of the key. Back to Bird. Right wing. Back out top now to Craig. Wants a high screen. Goes away from it. Kicks in the corner. Three ball in the air. No good long. Rebound tipped by Eastern. Craig down under the basket. It's 5-on-4 if the Tigers want it. High right to Mosley, and he traveled as he tried to make a move. Lynch and Bonsbach back in for the Tigers. Schubert and Bayline will come out. Yeah, unforced error there on Nickel Mosley.
Yeah, Nickel just got in a little bit of a hurry, and you don't need that right now with 3 minutes left in this game. 1 point Eastern lead. 44-43, Eagles with the lead. Spalding out top. Mosley not in guarding position to get a 5 count. Gives it to Anderson. To Craig. Goes on Lynch. Stripped by Matt Lynch. Out of bounds. Eagles will keep it. But it certainly looked like Craig had a step on Matt Lynch. Does a great job to recover. Eastern will inbound under their own basket. 2:41 left.
And they've had some successful inbound plays here. Tigers got to guard the middle here. They get it on the baseline to Craig. He'll dribble to the corner. Looking, still looking, kicks it out top to Anderson. 2.5 to play. Anderson dribbling left, guarded by Mosley. Still dribbling, knocked away by Mosley. Anderson goes to get it in the backcourt. High left to Spalding, gets a screen from Jewell. Dribbles down the lane, throws it into the corner. Kicked out to Craig. Bonsbach comes to get him. That's a mismatch here. Whistle and a timeout called by David Henley. We'll keep it right here with 2:10 to go. 30-second timeout called by the Eastern head coach. So both teams in the bonus, Tony. It is possession arrow favors the Eastern Eagles, and they have a 1-point lead. If you're David Henley here, what are you drawing up? Because you got Craig, who's had a really good first half and had a good overall game. You got Jewell down low. It's kind of a mismatch for anybody, but he's playing with one eye. And you got Christian Spalding, who was great in the first half, hasn't scored here in the second half.
Well, I think I would do what they did to start the second half. I would reverse the ball, try to post Jewell up, put a shooter on the outside. If you want to drop off with Craig or Spalding, let him shoot it. But Jewell does a good job of getting position inside. But I tell you what, this is an old school 1981 type of game, baby.
Yeah.
44-43. Some good defense. And I tell you what, these two teams are competing. You know, you might look at the score and say, gosh, 44-43. These two teams are getting after it. It hadn't been good offense, but it had flat got after it on the boards and on the defensive end, and Eastern will inbound at about their own three-point line.
And I'd say it's about the most entertaining 44-43 game I've ever seen. Anderson, right side to, well, Anderson's got it now on the right side. Knocked away by Varga. He got it back. High pass cross court, but Craig saves it. Guarded by Lynch. Gets a high screen from Bird. Dribbles to the top. Matt Lynch cuts him off. Right side to Anderson. High left to Spalding. Guarded by Mosley with 1:48 to play. Jewell out top. Gets it to Bird. Guarded by Bonsbach. High right. Bird one dribble out top to Craig. Lynch comes to get him. He fakes the three. Gets it to Jewell. Jewell out top to Spalding. Mosley comes to get him. Right side to Anderson. They're just throwing it around, looking for a backdoor cut here. Spalding lost it, got it back. Mosley guarding him. Back out to Craig. Fake the three again. Drives. Threw it to Jewell, who dropped it but recovered. Out to Anderson. 1:20 to play. Plenty of time here, and a foul, and a silly foul on Nickel Mosley.
No sense
Just
in
a
it.
silly reaching foul. He's made two really bad plays here late in this fourth quarter.
I mean, you can't get frustrated on defense. It's a one-point game. You hope they make a mistake, and Mosley just reaches in and fouls Spalding. And I told you these guys are good foul shooters, an 85% foul shooter.
First trip tonight, I believe,
and he
for
shot a bunch of them.
Christian Spalding. He'll shoot a 1-and-1 here. It'll be a one-possession game regardless of what happens. Front rimmed it, but it rolled in. He's in double figures. He's the second Eagle in double figures with 10 points.
John, he has shot 66 free throws this year and made 56. Add that one to it.
Second one up. This one's short again and rolls out. Mosley with the rebound. 2-point Eastern lead. 1:10 to play. Mosley brings it across against Spalding. Looking for the back door. Nothing there. Gets it to Smith. Simon dribbles out top with Jewell and hands it back to Mosley. 1 minute to play. Mosley gets a screen from Varga. Back to Ben. He drives into the lane. Stops. Out to Mosley. Fake the three. Goes into the lane for a 15-footer. Good. And we are tied at 45. Tigers take a timeout with 48.6 to go. We'll take it with them. You're listening to St. X High School basketball on the Visiting Impact Sports Radio Network. Start, 48.6 seconds to go. We're tied at 45. And a low-scoring quarter here, but now we got under a minute to play. Both teams in the bonus, the 1-1. No double bonus for either team yet. And Eastern would have a possession on a held ball here.
Well, we'll see what Eastern does, but Tigers will be in man-to-man. You try to play good defense, make a tough shot.
Spalding walks it across, high left to Bird, has it on the right, back to Spalding out top. They get it to Anderson, high left, guarded by Varga. It looks like Eastern wants that last shot. Playing a lot of just pitch and catch out front, being chased by the Tigers with under 30 to play. Right side is Craig, out to Anderson. Varga comes to get him. Left side, it is Spalding, back to Anderson. Over to Craig with 17 seconds. Bird almost threw it away. Rescued there by Anderson. Spalding's got it with 10 seconds. Wants to go one-on-one against Mosley. Nickel gets into the lane. It's going to be a foul on Mosley, and they're going to count the basket. Wow.
That was a shot? Foul was on the floor.
That is a terrible call.
Wow.
Christian Spalding gets the bucket. Mosley gets the foul. I think it was a foul, Tony, I agree it's on the floor. Kevin Klein wants a timeout. And he is telling the official he fouled him at the foul line. How can you count that basket? And I happen to agree with him.
I agree with you, John. It's not a continuation in high school, and the foul was at the elbow. And then he took another step and shot the ball, and I think that was a very poor call by the official.
The problem tonight, Tony, is they haven't called a lot of fouls. And, now you call one with 6.9 seconds and allow the NBA continuation.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have an issue with the foul. You don't either. But the foul was actually at the elbow here, and he came across, and then he shot the ball. So I don't think it's a shooting foul.
Shivion Ashby, who started the game, comes back in for Eastern. And I have to think one of the reasons here is if the 85% free throw shooter, Christian Spalding, makes this, you got a 3-point lead with 7 seconds, Eastern probably going to foul, and that's why Ashby may be back in the game, foul near midcourt.
Well, I think definitely you'd foul because they're in the bonus, and you'd have a 3-point lead. But
yeah.
Boy,
a lot of coaches don't agree with that. You and I have always agreed on fouling with a 3-point lead.
You have to know your team to do it too.
Yeah.
But that's a big call in this game, and there hadn't been a lot of calls, and that's a big shot by Spalding. But it's a one-possession game no matter what happens here on the shot.
1 for 2 at the line. Spalding, as you mentioned, shoots over 80% on the season. So you certainly expect him to knock this one down. Nobody in the lane for Eastern. He's short. Bonsbach's got it to Mosley with 5. He gets across the timeline. He'll drive all the way to the basket and go up and lay it up. No call. Bonsbach tipped it and it rolled off. And Mosley looking for the foul call, and I don't blame him. He drew the contact from Jewell in the air, but Mosley with a great attempt. And, boy, I don't know how Kyle Bonsbach's tip did not fall, but that'll do it. The Tigers fall here tonight, 47-45. We'll be back. You're listening to St. X High School basketball on the Bissing Impact Sports Radio Network.
How'd that not go in?
Well, it's like, remember Keon Brooks'